All right, welcome back. In one of our previous videos, we talked about what is the right flooring choice for you. And one of those components we talked about was tile, right? So this video, we're taking a deeper dive into the tile section and giving you a better idea of what is actually out there and what you need to know when we're talking about different types of tile. Porcelain and ceramic, that's going to be your most common types of tiles you're going to talk about when you're talking about flooring, mostly because you have to know that porcelain is good for the floor, ceramic is not. Why is that, right? So talk about 45 years ago probably, you could put ceramic, or they did put ceramic all over. You've probably been in bathrooms, or you might even still have a bathroom that's got 4 1/4 white tile or blue or pink tile that's on the floors and the walls. Nowadays, we don't really do that. And we don't do that for a lot of different reasons, but the number one is the durability factor, right? Porcelain, this is a porcelain example. This is a ceramic example. This is a white body ceramic. It's softer and it's not going to be as durable as a porcelain. The reason for that, and this is where it gets interesting, is how it is made. They fire this clay and mineral, that's actually refined clay, this is regular clay, this is refined clay and minerals at 2200 degrees to 2600 degrees Fahrenheit. That is hotter than lava, my friends. And what it does is it almost fuses that clay together and gives it an incredibly durable finish, and it also reduces with water absorption, right? So what else does that give you? Well, you can use porcelain inside or outside. Ceramic you can typically only use inside, especially in a climate like we're at, where we have a lot of freeze-thaw situations. Down in Florida or Hawaii, go ahead, go nuts, put your ceramic outside. But here, where you got to consider your freeze and your thaw, porcelain exclusively outside. One of the other really interesting things about porcelain is when they do the actual printing process itself, you're going to get a lot higher end visuals on a porcelain than you might on a ceramic. Now that's not to say that they can't do incredible things in ceramic. I mean, we have a metallic deco here in ceramic that's really cool. But when we're talking about marble or wood or concrete looks, you're going to get a more realistic visualization on the finished product when using it on a porcelain versus a ceramic. So that's a fun little tidbit, but let's get into the pros and the cons now. So the pros of porcelain: durability, water absorption, the fact that you can use it indoor, you can use it outdoor. A lot of really cool prints, a lot of cool finishes that are going to come with a porcelain tile. Size-wise, you're also going to go basically anywhere from a 2x2, 1x1 mosaic up to a 5 by 10 foot slab, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Ceramic, there are some pros to it in the fact that the cost is a little bit better. A lot of times, because it's fired at lower temperatures, it's a little easier to work with on the install side. You're going to find that ceramic is typically less expensive when compared directly with a counterpart that is porcelain. Ceramic also gives you a lot of options in terms of its glazing, which is cool. So you can get a lot of different color variations and different things like a traditional subway might have with a ceramic, whereas if you did that on a porcelain, sometimes it doesn't translate as nicely. All right, real quick, I want to dive into the porcelain a little bit more because that's what we're talking about when we're thinking about flooring, because we're not using ceramic on the floors, we're using only porcelain. What are the different types of porcelain to think about? Well, number one, numero uno, the one that everybody wants to have, is what's called a rectified porcelain. A rectified porcelain simply means that the edges are 90 degrees. Right, they run it through a saw that gives it a clean 90-degree finish, which allows you to get those tight grout joints that everybody's after, because everybody hates grout. Not me though, but we'll get into that in another later video. Rectified finish porcelain, 90-degree turn. Pressed porcelain, often less expensive than a rectified porcelain, is going to actually be pressed into its shape. It's going to give it a little rounded edge, wider grout joints. Less expensive, but wider grout joints. Keep that in mind. And lastly is a color body porcelain. Color body means that what you see on the top actually carries through the entire body of the porcelain. This is going to be used in commercial areas, places where there's going to be a lot of traffic, a little bit of heavier items potentially hitting the floor, because that way when it chips, you don't really see it because the color body of the bisque or the clay underneath it matches the glazing on the top. So that's a color body. Again, not as common as the rectified and ceramic. So when you're working in a residential situation, you want to ask the question, is it rectified? Is it pressed? And that's going to give you a lot of insight into the quality of the overall product. All right, one of the things I mentioned earlier in the video was porcelain slabs. And if you're a designer at home right now, or you're a homeowner looking to renovate something, or you're just curious what's coming our way, Porcelain slabs are about to be a major factor in our market. A lot of price-friendly options, a lot of beautiful looks, and finally, more and more people are interested in being able to install them. A lot of regular tile installers can't deal with a porcelain slab. It's too thin and it's too big for them to work with their normal tools and actually install it. So it used to be very specialized. Well, they're coming out with a lot of fun new things that are gonna get more people involved, and the sizes are gonna be around 4 foot by 9 foot to 5 foot by 10 foot at a price point that is very attainable. That's gonna give you the opportunity to do your whole shower in, say, 3 or 4 slabs, minimal grout joints, most realistic look possible. But my favorite part about it, and this is what people don't think about, full slab, real slab showers are incredibly expensive. They're the highest end looks though. Porcelain slabs are gonna allow you to do that, save the money, and still get that beautiful high-end finished look. Stay tuned for more porcelain slabs coming your way. Lastly, the last thing I want to say on this video is finishes. So it's pretty straightforward, but you probably don't know about some of the more unique finishes that are now available in porcelains. You have your two basics, your classics, right? Honed, polished, or matte, polished. Now, honed and matte in a porcelain discussion is basically the same thing, but some people use them interchangeably, whatever. Matte finish, floors, very common, less slip factor than a porcelain. Not to say you can't use a polished porcelain on your floor, but a lot of times people are gonna say, use a matte, use a honed finish, whatever, for slip factor. That's up to you and your personal situation. But some really cool things. Inkjet 3D printing. We're applying texture now over top of porcelains to give them a real slate feel, a real marble feel against the vein. The grain of the veining is actually becoming part of the texture in the printing process. Also, there's finishes that are new, like the sugared effect, which gives it a real like dimply feeling and gives it extra grip. They have antibacterial finishes. They have anti-slip finishes. They have flamed finishes to give it a really like classic slate style, authentic feel. So the technology is coming out with all different kinds of things in the porcelain world. So it's not as simple as, oh, I don't want tile because it's basic, or it's not as exciting as some of the other options. Not true today. Today, the technology, it's so close to the real thing that you probably have walked on porcelain floors and thought it was something else before. So keep that in mind when you're making your decision, you're thinking about porcelain. We did a real nice deep dive so you have all the information you need so that when you go into the store and you're gonna make your selection, you're equipped with the knowledge that you need to make an educated decision. That's another reason why you should jump into our next videos if you haven't already, so I can tell you all about the hardwood, I can tell you all about the natural stone, and you're gonna go in there and you're gonna talk like you're a pro, like I know you could be. Subscribe, like, please keep moving this thing around, show it to your friends. We'd love to get it out there so that more people can feel as confident as you now feel.